Okay, this is the complete synopsis of AD Wars Christian Mythology Decidable Artist Card Game. Okay, so in here we're going to be discussing highlighted topics: setting up game, how to play, ties, card types, burn, banish, same pile, card types, how to play, and we're going to be discussing a little bit about the terminologies and definitions. Okay, so this was copyrighted on May 2nd, 2017, and I believe it was 2:17 in the morning when I created the synopsis. Okay? So, setting up a game. A deck must contain exactly 52 cards, no more, no less, no more than 3 copies of each individual card, no ousted cards, those are the banned cards, no more than 2 copies of reserve cards. Those are the cards that are a little bit powerhouse, but not overbearing. Not the I win the game because this card is played. These are more like the helper to win the game cards. Okay. Exactly 16 characters must be in the deck, no more, no less. And you must have characters in your deck, 16 of them. Once you have your deck, you may only construct evil or holy allies. Only sins or turn events in each deck with characters and riddles. Characters and riddles are neutral, and sins are unholy. Turn events are holy. Okay? So you sit at the table, use Christian etiquette, manners, no foul language, no rude or lewd conduct over a game. Follow these steps after drawing 4 cards initially. Okay? Sins may be played at any time by pulling ties. Okay, when you pull a tie, basically you got your ties set face down, and you basically move them off to the side, the number of ties that it requires, and they're your resources basically. So if something costs 3, you got to remove 3 ties from the game until the beginning of your opponent's next turn. They always come back on your opponent's next turn and your next turn. Okay, so they come back every single turn, not every single round, every single turn. Okay, turn events may be played at any time by detisting, which means you turn the characters right side up, all characters per turn of event. Okay, and then tist, turn it sideways, happens at the beginning of the turn. So you're going to turn all your characters at the beginning of the turn sideways, and then when you want to cast a turn of event, they all get turned right side up. So it's opposite of other TCGs. Okay, a tithe. Now, this is the major difference between my game and all other TCGs. You may play up to 3 face down cards as tithes. These are your money currencies for your cards. Okay? Knowledge. Draw 2 cards. Intuition phase or step. Pulling ties equals to lower right corner of character. Okay, so the lower right hand corner where the triangle is on the character, that's how many ties you have to pull to play a character. Sin is to the center left, and same thing with riddle cards. That's how many ties you got to pull. So getting in the end costs 9. That means you would have to remove nine ties. Okay, Jacob the Unbanishable, and you would have to remove 4 ties to play Jacob the Unbanishable. Look at the lower right hand corner on the character, and then on the sin, and then on the riddle, get into the end, look to the center left in the circle, it says 9. Okay, so that is the intuition step. The barter trade. This is the confusing part, so pay attention. Add up all characters' total numbers. The one at the bottom in the triangle and the one right there in the center circle. Okay, total numbers. Together. Whoever has the lowest total wins. The opponent wins. The opponent must forfeit all characters in their land. Okay, it's the first to resolve 15 characters and have 15 characters in their land wins the game. Okay, so like let's say you have 6, but they have 10. No, they have 9. They have 9 characters, you have 6 characters, you go into barter trade, and your numbers are the lowest that has 6, and your opponent has the highest that has 9, you take control of all the characters. The game is over because you have 15 characters on your side of the board. Okay, how to play. Follow steps. Play 3 ties. Knowledge, draw 2 cards. Intuition is your main step. Barter and trade is what I just explained with totaling the numbers, and whoever has the lowest wins and gains all the opponent's characters. Okay. The win conditions of a game. The win conditions of a game. Resolve successfully 3 riddles or control 15 characters at any time. Okay. If you run out of cards in your hand or your deck, you don't lose the game like every other TCG. Okay. Ties are face down cards from your wisdom zone. Wisdom zone is your hand. At the beginning of your turn, and only up to 3 each turn. You can play 3 face down each turn, up to 3. So, turn 1, you might play 1. Turn 2, you might play 3. Turn 3, you might play 2. Okay, giving you a total of 6. Okay, pulling ties, separate zone of burn and banish pile that resurrects, comes back during the beginning of every turn. Once used or spent, it disappears until the next turn, which means you remove it and it disappears. And then at the beginning of your opponent's turn, it comes back. You remove it again on your opponent's turn, and it comes back at the beginning of your turn. Also different from other TCGs. Okay, tithes are used to play characters, sins, riddles. Yeah, character sins and riddles are how you play tithes. Okay, characters pulling ties cost lower right hand corner. The little triangle, that's how much ties you have to pull. Okay, I'm reading the synopsis right now. Okay, the sin and riddle cards are in the center left of how many uh, resources it takes. Okay, card types: character, riddle, sin, turn of events. 15 characters at any time in your land wins. Riddle, solve 3 and you win. Sins, affect gameplay immediately, may be played at any time by pulling ties. Okay, similar to other TCGs. It's basically mana, if you will, in Magic the Gathering, crystals, if you will, in Final Fantasy, stuff like that. Turn events are played at any time, but must detis, which means right side up, all characters. If all characters are already detist, you must wait to play a turn of event. Turn of events take effect immediately. So you're using your characters not only for your barter trade, but also for a mana resource for turn of events if you're playing a holy deck. Okay, that's the main difference between my TCG and others that use mana or currency. Mine, the characters produce currency for the turn events, and every other card, the ties are the currency. Okay, burn banish pile are the same zone, and they're the discard pile. Okay, card types. This is what the cards look like. This is what you want to pay attention to. Characters: black with white lettering, lower right hand corner, triangle with a cost number, pulling ties. Center left is for barter trade. Lowest total among all characters possesses all of the opponent's characters at once. So it's not the triangle and the circle, it's just the circle during barter trade. Okay, and you add all the circles up. Purple cards are the riddle cards. Solve 3 and win. Center left circle is how many ties you must pull. Riddle cards may be only played during the intuition step, which is like the main phase, or the main step. Okay, sins, center left, they're red cards. Pulling ties, number, played at any time. Turn events, you have to turn all your characters right side up, and then you can play your turn of event. And they are blue, white, and black. Okay? Right side up, blue, white, and black cards. Played at any time per turn of event. Details all characters in your land zone. Okay? And then the how to play. which is right here. Okay? Read this rule book, or easier, learn from a friend. Terminology. Okay, so now we're going to go over some terminologies. Burn and banish, same thing. Discard pile. Okay? Burn and banish are the discard pile. Okay, corruption is basically it's going to be in markers where you put corruption markers on something and you pass them over, or you remove a corruption marker. Like Know Who Built the Ark comes in with 5, and when the last corruption marker is removed, you remove one every turn. But when the last corruption marker is removed, you win the game. You can't play it on the first or second turn. So, so there's combo with that. Jacob the Unbanishable, Name No Enforcer, and uh, the Noah Who Built the Ark. So Jacob the Unbanishable, no characters can be banished or burned. Name No Enforcer, burn a character, do something. I think burn a character in your opponent's land. So then Noah Who Built the Ark comes in with 5 corruption markers. As soon as the last one's removed, you win the game. You just go sack, 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 or burn, 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 and it keeps coming back into play, and it keeps burning every character, and keeps removing the corruption markers. So you could be playing with a million players at the table, and they're playing that deck, and they're waiting 30 minutes to take their first turn. And when they do, they go, okay, infinite combo, blah, 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 and they wipe everybody out in a single turn. So this game, unlike Magic the Gathering and other games, when a card says win condition, it means against one player, and if there's 3 at the board, you got to beat all 3 times. So you may win the game, but you decide which player gets knocked out. Then there's still 2 in you, and you win again, so then you knock the other player out. Then you win the third game, and you knock the other player out, so you win the entire game. Okay? So basically, you got that. You got knowledge step, which the knowledge step is basically like in Magic the Gathering lingo, upkeep. In other game lingo, it's something else. It's basically a checks and balances. It's like searching Watcher. During your knowledge step, you leak drawing. Leak means draw or search, depending on wording. Okay, so it comes with logic and reason, and according to the Holy Bible. So the Holy Bible. Anyways, when you leak, it's going to say leak a card from the top of your deck, put it in hand, or it's going to say something like, which means draw and put it in your hand. If it says leak a card from your book of life, that means it's any card that you go ahead and sift through your deck and you throw it into your hand. Nothing says reveal in this game except cards like Legion of Souls. It's like when you're searching and stuff, you don't have to reveal the card. You just have to leak it, beat into your hand, and discard the 4, according to Searching Watcher. And that happens every single turn. So that's on the reserve list, you're only allowed 2. Okay, the ousted list is a little bit more strenuous. It's Angel Compassion, Name No Enforcer. It's Jacob the Unbanishable, and there's one other card on there. I think of what it is. Oh, Awaken the Spirit. Those are the 4 key cards that are ousted. Angel Compassion, Name No Enforcer, um, Awaken the Spirit, and Jacob the Unbanishable. So those are the 4 main ousted cards. And then the reserve card is Searching Watcher, and then there's a couple others on the reserve list. Anyways, at the beginning of the game, I want to mention you draw 4 cards, and then you move into your initial knowledge step, and you play up to 3 cards out of your hand face down. You have 1, 2, or 3 resources. So if the triangle is 4, you got to wait until the next turn. If the triangle is 3, you can play it that turn. Triangle is 2, you play it that turn, and you save 1 resource, etc., etc., etc. Then you draw your 2 cards. Then you go into your intuition phase, or your intuition step which is where you play sin, which is where you can play sin, turn event, riddle, character. But you want to hold on to your riddle, or you want to hold on to your sin in your turn of events because they can be played at any time. Riddle cards and characters can only be played during your intuition phase. Thank you.